In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to assemble a C1 microsystem kit. Let's go! So this is everything with the kit. We got a regular car, zero car here, we got the bogie alignment tools, basic top design screws, these are for the top designs, and then we've also got the hardware. Let's open up the hardware and see what's inside. So this is everything laid out from the hardware. So there's the Allen key, hex fasteners, and there's different size screws, the bearings, bearing spacers, and also different connectors, and then the chain dogs and some spare parts. Now that we've gone through an overview of the parts, let's put them to the side and start building. We're going to start by building the regular car. So inside there is a bogie and also this base. We're going to be starting with the base. This first step is actually really easy. We're going to need the Allen key, 6mm screws, 7mm screws, and the 3 different connector types. Alright, let's start with this first step. We're going to grab the Allen key and one of these front connectors and one of the 7mm screws. Alright, so now we're going to take the screw and place it onto the end of the Allen key and grab our front connector, and we're going to put it through the hole there. Now, we're going to grab the base and we're simply just going to screw into the base. Now, one thing to note is that you don't want to screw it all the way tight. You want there to be a small gap right here so it can spin freely. We're going to take a middle connector, a 7mm screw. Now we're going to screw the 7mm screw into the front connector that we screwed in earlier. As you can see, this side has an indent and the other side does not. We're going to want to screw into the side that has the indent. And you just want to get it started. You don't want it to go all the way through yet, because we're going to grab the middle connector and make sure that this part is facing up like this. You don't want it upside down. You want it the other way. So we're going to put that and line it up here and screw in this 7mm screw. Now you want to make sure that you didn't tighten it too much, so just give it a little swing and make sure it can swing freely. Next, we're going to grab this back connector and a 6mm screw. And we're going to grab the back connector and make sure that it's facing up this way, not upside down. We're going to want it this way. And we're going to slot it into the back of the base. Make sure that it lines up with this hole. And we're going to take the 6mm screw and screw it into the hole that we lined the back connector with. Now, as you're screwing, make sure that it's going in nice and straight. You don't want it to veer off to the side. And the screw should line up with this hole at the bottom. Now we're going to take another 7mm screw and we're just going to start it into the top of this back connector. Just like that. Alright, now that you have this, we can put it to the side and work on the bogie. For this, we're going to use the 10mm screws, hex fasteners, and the bearings and bearing spacers. Now this bogie is going to need 8 of the bearings and 16 of the bearing spacers. For each bearing, we're going to put a spacer on either end, and they just clip in like this. It's really simple, and they should hold nicely. We're going to repeat this for the remaining bearings. Alright, for this next step, we're going to need 4 of the bearings and 4 of the 10mm screws. Now grab the bogie and one of the bearings and slide it into this side wheel slot. Now make sure that the bearing hole lines up with the bogie, because we're going to take a 10mm screw and screw it in. Now we don't need to overly tighten this screw, just screw it until the head reaches the bogie part right here. We're now going to repeat this for the 3 remaining side wheels. The bogie should look something like this. Let's grab the 4 remaining bearings, 4 more of the 10mm screws, and 4 of the hex fasteners. Now this next step is going to repeat for these 4 remaining holes. Now start by grabbing one of the screws and sliding it through this hole, and then grabbing a bearing and putting it on the end here. And then we're going to place one of the fasteners right on the end there. And I just like to hold it with my finger and then screw and put pressure with my finger against the Allen key, and that should tighten it nicely. just like that. Now repeat this with the rest of the material and place them into these 3 remaining holes. And there you go, you now have a completed bogie. Now we're going to grab the base that we built earlier, and also the bogie alignment tools, and also one of the 12mm screws. Let's take out one of the bogie alignment tools. Now we're going to take the 12mm screw and the base, and we're going to screw it into the hole right there. And you're going to want to stop screwing right as it pokes through. Now we're going to grab the bogie and line up this hole here with the screw. And then we're going to slide the bogie alignment tool in between the base and the bogie. Just like this. You're going to want to squeeze the bogie and the base together as you finish screwing in this 12mm screw. Now just tighten this nice and firmly, and then slide out the bogie alignment tool. And just like that, your bogie should spin nicely. And that is how you assemble a regular car. Now I'm going to show you how to assemble the zero car. Here we have a bogie, a base, and then a zero car with a swivel bogie. I'm going to start with this base. So for this step, we're going to need the 6mm screws, the 7mm screws, 12mm screws, the back connectors, and we're also going to need to grab the zero car piece. Now grab one 6mm screw and one of the back connectors. Place the back connector into the back of the base. Make sure these holes are lined up and screw in the 6mm screw. Make sure it goes in nice and straight. Be sure that it lines up with this hole at the bottom. Grab a 7mm screw and screw it into the top of this back connector. Just like that. Now we're going to grab a 12mm screw and also the zero car, and we're going to screw the 12mm screw right in here. Screw it in about that much. We're now going to grab the base and we're going to line up this screw with that hole and start to screw this in. Now you want to make sure that you don't screw in the 12mm screw too much, so I like to grab the bogie alignment tool and make sure that the thickness of the handle of this bogie alignment tool is about the same distance between the base and the zero car. So if I put it right here, you can see that it's about the same distance, or until you see a little white dot appear right here on that part, that means you should stop screwing. Now the zero car is locked up right now, so I'm going to rotate it back a couple of times, and now it can spin freely. Let's now place this to the side. Now we have the bogie, and this is the same one as we did earlier for the regular car, so go back to that spot and build another one. Now that you have this built, let's attach it to the base. We're going to need the bogie alignment tool and a 12mm screw. Screw in the 12mm screw into the hole right here, have it poke through just a bit, align the bogie hole with the screw, slide in the alignment tool, squeeze the base and the bogie together, and finish screwing in the 12mm screw. Now slide out the alignment tool. This car is almost done. We now need to assemble the swivel bogie, so let's put this to the side. Grab the parts for the swivel bogie. Grab the 7mm screws, 12mm screws, hex fasteners, and the bearings and bearing spacers. We're going to need 12 bearings and 24 bearing spacers. Now place a spacer on either side of each bearing. Repeat this for the remaining bearings. Now we're going to grab 6 of the bearings and 1 of the swivel bogies. And then grab 6 of the 7mm screws and 2 of the hex fasteners. Grab the swivel bogie and grab a bearing and place it in the side wheel slot. Now grab the screw and screw it into the side wheel hole. I'm going to screw it in until the head reaches the bottom. Now do it to the other side right here. It should now look like this. Now we're going to grab another screw and put it into the hole right here. Now as you put that screw in, it might come in at an angle. That's okay. Just make sure you push in and try to straighten it out. Just like that. Now place a bearing at the end of the screw, and then also one of the hex fasteners. And then push against the hex and screw it in till it tightens. Just like that. Do the same thing for this hole right here. It should now look like this. Now grab a screw and a bearing and put it on the end. Now you're going to screw it into this hole right here. You want to be careful that you don't over tighten it because it can strip the hole. And also make sure that it screws in straight and that you stop right as it tightens so you don't strip the hole. And now do the same thing for this one right here. It should look just like this. Now we're going to need 2 of these, so make sure you go and build the other one. Now that you have these built, you're going to grab the axle piece and 2 of the 12mm screws. Grab one of the swivel bogies and put in the 12mm screw. Then you're going to screw it into the axle right here. Now you're going to want to tighten it until there's a very small gap, and make sure that the bogie can still swivel freely. We're now going to do the same for the other side. Now that we have this complete, we can attach it to the zero car. And in order to do that, we're going to need the bogie alignment tool and a 10mm screw. We're going to take this screw and start it into the zero car hole right here. And go ahead and screw it until it barely pokes through. Now take the swivel bogie and line it up with the screw. And slide in the bogie alignment tool. And squeeze the swivel bogie to the zero car base, and then tighten that 10mm screw. And slide out the bogie alignment tool. And there you go, you now have completed the zero car. Now I'm going to show how you can attach the regular car to the zero car. All you gotta do is grab the regular car and slide it into this slot right here, and then just screw down that screw. Also be sure that you didn't tighten it too much and that it can still rotate freely. Another thing you want to be aware of is that this middle connector is facing up and is not flipped the other way around. This is the correct orientation. Now if you have a longer train, go back and build more regular cars and attach them the way I just showed you. This train is almost done, there are only a few more steps left. So grab the chain dogs and 2 7mm screws. Now from the chain dogs bags, you're going to want to grab the chain dog and then the chain dog housing. Now slide the screw into this hole. And do so for the other side as well. You should now have something like this. Now grab the chain dog and slide it into this front car right here. It should set in nicely. And now we're going to screw the chain dog housing into these 2 holes. Now just tighten those up nice and firmly. And the chain dog should move freely. Now if you have a longer train, you're going to want to put on multiple chain dogs. I like to put a chain dog every other car. Now all that's left is to put on the top designs. And we're going to need the basic top design screws. Now grab the top design and place it onto the car. And now the basic top design screw goes into each of these holes right here. And now the zero car gets placed on right here, and a screw goes in on that side and on the other. And that is how you build a C1 microsystem kit. Your train is now ready to go on the track. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'm happy to answer them. I'll see you later.